Australia is a country of migrants. We have lots of people coming from all walks of life and many different countries all around the world. Many of us are on temporary visas. So in today's video, we are going to look at visa options for your spouse, either your husband, wife, or your girlfriend, and your dependent children. If you like the content of this video, please do not forget to share it with your family and friends. And if you're watching our channel for the first time, this is the time to hit that follow button or subscribe button. So let's get started. Lots of people come to Australia on a temporary visa and mainly on student visa. So in this side, I'm going to discuss temporary visas and visa options for your family members. If you are in Australia and you're a holder of a temporary visa, that could be subclass 500 visa, that could be subclass 485 visa, 491 visa, 482 visa, subclass 494 visa, or any other temporary visa. So I'm going to mainly focus on student visa because that is the common question that people ask from us. Sir, I have my wife or my children back home in the home country. How can I apply for their visa to come and join in Australia? If you are on a student visa and if you have a family member offshore, that includes your wife or your girlfriend or your de facto partner, as well as any children less than 18, then you can apply for subsequent entrant student visa for them. But the complication here is the finances. Applying for a subsequent entrant student visa is an expensive process. You would be required to show funds, and lots of people fail to provide that bank statement which is required. You're also required to get family health cover, which is again very, very expensive. So for those who are currently on a student visa, if you're not able to afford the subsequent entrant student visa from offshore, because it is expensive and it takes a lot of money and a lot of time, and still sometimes the department just refuses your application for one or the other reason, I would recommend you guys to wait for you to move on to subclass of 485 visa, which is a graduate visa, the visa that you get after you complete 2 years of study in Australia. Because after you get 485 visa, you can apply for subsequent entrant visa for your family. You can justify your relationship with your girlfriend or spouse. So there are 3 different ways you can do so. First one is marriage, either you have a marriage certificate. Second one is you have a de facto relationship for minimum 12 months. So de facto relationship has to be justified with the help of documents that you have lived under one roof and you have joint liabilities and assets and things like that. But if you don't have 12 months of relationship, you can also get the registered relationship certificate, which is possible in some states in Australia. If you have that certificate, on the basis of that, you can apply for subsequent entrant, either student visa or 485 visa for your spouses. Now, you also need to look at the fee. So fee depends upon the visa subclass to visa subclass. If you're going for a student visa, it is roughly $1,600 for the primary applicant at the moment. If you're going for 485 visa, it is roughly $2,000 at the moment, plus agent charges. Now, if you hold any of those 491 visa, so 491 is a regional visa. If you hold a 491 visa and if you get married after you're holding a 491 visa or after 491 grant, then you can apply for a subsequent entrant visa for your wife or for your children to join you in Australia. Again, this 491 subsequent entrant visa can take up to 8 to 10 months or sometimes even 12 months in the processing, but there are not a lot of concerns as such. Most people get this visa granted. Not like student visa. If you apply for subsequent entrant student visa, it is going to be tricky, and we do have lots of refusals for subsequent entrant student visas for in Australia at the moment. Now, if you are a holder of 482 visa, again, so 491 and 494 operates the same way, but because 494 and 482 visa, both of these visas are employer sponsored visas. If you're a holder of any of those visas, if you want to bring your family to Australia, then you would be required a support letter from your employer as well. stating that your employer also extends that sponsorship to your spouse too. Only then you can apply for visa. So that was about temporary visas. Now, we have done lots of videos on partner visas. We will continue to make good content on partner visas as well. But briefly, if you are a permanent visa holder in Australia, for example, if you hold a subclass 190 visa, that's a permanent visa. 186 visa, that is also a permanent visa under employer sponsored category. 189 is a permanent visa. Or you are Australian citizen, you are someone who is born in Australia, you hold Australian passport, or you came with your parents and you hold Australian passport, and now you're going to go for getting married overseas and want to bring your spouse here in Australia. Then in that case, again, we are looking at all the relationship things as we discussed in here. So relationship can be proved in 3 different ways: either marriage, de facto relationship for 12 months, or a registering relationship. And then cost is a big thing in partner visas, especially. The department itself charges you roughly $9,000, a little bit more, and then there would be agent charges. You also have to consider whether you want to do it onshore or offshore, because if you do visa from offshore for your spouse, it can take ages to get processed, and in some cases we hear stories that more than 3 years have gone by and you still haven't got the visa granted. So offshore or onshore is really, really good. You really need to plan it in advance. If there is any possibility for bringing your spouse to onshore, you can you can basically stay together. And processing times, again, as I mentioned, it could be anything between 2 to 3 years. In some cases, what we have realized in professionally completed applications where you have lots of documents in place, everything is in place, processing times always are slightly better than the self or do-it-yourself application. So if you guys are looking for any of these visa options, if you want to discuss your case, please reach out to us on the given numbers. The best would be to book an appointment from our website. All the best. Thank you.